Welcome back. In today's video, I want to share one of the handouts that I use the most in counseling sessions. It's about anxiety. It's rating how high or low our symptoms get in anxiety and what are the tools that we can use at each of those levels. Here we go. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I'm a mom and a certified perinatal mental health specialist. I make these videos for you, coping with pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood. I want to give you easy tools that you can use to feel refreshed. Today, I wanted to go over one of the handouts that I use in counseling sessions. I'm a very visual learner myself, and I just feel like it's easier when we can see something and learn from it and apply those tools to ourselves to reduce the symptoms that we're having. Today, we're going to go over the topic of anxiety. Anxiety is fear, apprehension, worry. We're going to look at what are the symptoms that you've been experiencing. In some of my other videos on anxiety and postpartum, anxiety in each of the trimesters, ways to de-stress, I've shared some of the best techniques to deal with that stress. And today, I'm going to help you to rate yourself as to where you feel like your anxiety is throughout the day. That way, you're going to know exactly what tool to plug in at what time. Let me share with you on the screen the handout that I'm referring to. You can see that down the center of that handout, I'm using a rating scale from 0 all the way up to 10. 0 is feeling calm and content, right? It's at the place that most of us want to be at. Rising all the way up to a 10. And I would say probably a good 3 times a day, check in with yourself. How high is your anxiety getting throughout the day? The number system is very helpful because it helps you to quantify. Oh, I'm waking up each morning at a 4. Well, guess what? You're going to hit a 10 by the end of the day. Or if you've been trying to communicate your anxiety to someone in your house or someone you care about, but it's hard to tell them in symptoms or words, maybe that would help them too, is to understand your number scale. In sending over the text that says, oh, we had such a rough morning, my anxiety's all the way up to a 7. And there are a lot of things that can determine what triggers us to have an increasing anxiety. They could be external, they could be internal triggers. External is, surprise, we've changed the plans for Saturday and you have to revamp baby's whole schedule for the day. Or, you woke up and the baby seems to have a little rash on their face and now it starts to get that worry wheel going for you. Or you've read some headlines and they've been disturbing and upsetting to you. Those external triggers change the way that your body feels and the way that your mind is racing. Internally, that's exactly what could be happening, is your body scanning, checking in with how your body feels, because in symptoms of panic, we can really increase how many body sensations we're having. Palpitations in our chest, dry mouth, tension up in our neck, sweaty palms, a knot in our stomach, leading to constipation or diarrhea. It could be symptoms of feeling woozy or dizzy if the adrenaline in our bloodstream has just gotten too high and it's making us feel very physically sick. Well, externally or internally, those triggers come at us and our body believes, oh my goodness, there's danger. And so it starts to scan and be very vigilant. Where's the danger coming from? What do I need to do about it? Well, recognizing where you fall on this anxiety scale is definitely going to help you to realize, wow, I was already at a higher level when this new situation or new email came in. So it makes sense that I climbed up higher. So many women say to me in counseling, boy, it was like I went from 0 to 10 like this. Interesting? If you get to know your body and you're really now watching in for all of these symptoms, you're going to notice you've been climbing. Interesting also, a lot of women say, boy, I've been hovering at a 4 for years. I thought that was my lowest level of calmness. I didn't realize I need to still do some more work to reduce the anxiety that I'm having. So let's look at that handout another time. And now I want you to pay attention to the column that has the symptoms written on it. Those symptoms correlating to each of those anxiety numbers are what we're going to cover next. If you're doing your anxiety check-in and you would rate yourself at a 1 or 2, maybe you're noticing that you're having some of the worrying, overthinking, analyzing of situations that are going on. A 3 or 4, now you're starting to have some of those racing thoughts. Now you're starting to feel some of that tension really grow. If you rate yourself at a 5, now that's where you're going to notice more of your physical symptoms showing up. Somatic symptoms in your stomach, in your head, in the muscles. At a 6 or 7, now you're moving closer to that fight or flight. You're either withdrawing and closing yourself off into a room, or you are irritable and cranky and responding to others with agitation. 9 or 10, now you're getting to what we call a full-blown panic attack. That is where the adrenaline in your system has fully come in, telling your brain that it is time for fight or flight or maybe freeze from this danger, whatever your danger may be. At a 10, you could feel physically sick. I have many women that have ended up going to an emergency room reporting cardiac symptoms, stroke-like symptoms, because that much chemical of adrenaline has come into their system that now it is similar to their body in distress that a medical crisis would be. Recognizing where you fall on this scale, again, maybe 3 times a day, checking in the morning, okay? How's my body feeling? How clear are my thoughts? Checking again after lunch. Okay, am I feeling some tension? Am I really been looping on something and it's distracting me? Maybe I'm getting more irritable by dinner time and I'm on edge and noises and interruptions are really bothering me. That check-in system helps us to now move over to that other column. So let's take a look at that handout one last time to see what are the tools that you can use at each of those stages. Did you notice if you rated yourself down there at a 1, that's where we want to do some of our breathing. On YouTube, you can go to Dr. Andrew Weil, W-E-I-L. He is an integrative medicine doctor out in Arizona, and he posts videos about all kinds of self-care and women's health. Well, one of his videos are the 4-7-8 breathing. It's a technique where you're breathing in for 4, holding for 7, and releasing for 8, a count of 8. Now, some women like that. Some women feel like they're hyperventilating from that. So you've got to decide which one works for you. Is it a big exhale breath? And that seems to reset your system. Also at a 1, that's where calming yourself, quieting yourself is so important. Someone will tell me, well, I was trying all my breathing techniques at an 8 or 9. It's okay, you're too far gone in your symptoms for breathing to be helpful at that point. Up at a 2 or 3 on your anxiety scale, it's important to remove yourself from the situation that you're in. You could change the music in the room that you're in or put on something instrumental and calming. Take a walk, leave work, at lunch, take a walk around the building. Put the baby down safely, take a walk, go into the kitchen, and regroup. 4 or 5, maybe it's time to write it down. Journal about what are the things that are bothering you, what has been playing over and over on that worry wheel. Talk it out with a friend about what you're apprehensive about, an event coming up, a conversation you need to have. Talking that out to process what are the thoughts versus what are the feelings, and putting together a plan to feel less stressed in that situation. So 0 to 5, I really want you to think about that as the time that you're using to relax yourself. You could bring those numbers down on that scale by all of the tools that calm you. But 5 or higher, those relaxation tools are out the window. They no longer help. Now you're at a place where you're ready to exert yourself. That means that the body is pumping this adrenaline and it needs to put it somewhere. Adrenaline lasts in your bloodstream for 72 hours after a trigger. So thinking about ways to exert yourself, I've done a video on de-stressing. Take your shoes off, stomp the floor for 1 minute. Your body thinks it needs to pounce. Throw a squish ball against the side of the bedroom wall and let out the tension. Take the flight of stairs, run them up, run them back down. Let that tension out. Take a squish ball and squeeze it with your hands to get that pressure out, releasing the tension that the body has pent up from some of those lower levels, and now certainly from the chemical of adrenaline in your system. As you do that, you're going to notice that as you're exerting it out, it starts to calm back down. And now in that calm down is when you can think more clearly, put more of your action plans into place, go towards more of your relaxation, and be able to feel like you are getting closer and closer to that 0 or that calm and content. In the comments down below, tell me, what are the numbers you usually sit at? Are you a person that you realize, wow, looking at that scale, I hover around a 5 almost every day? I want to hear where you get stuck. As you think about this anxiety scale, it could be one of your best tools to be informed about yourself and informed about your body. That's what's going to help you to then decide which tool you plug in at which time. And the more that you recognize a certain tool really working for you, write that down. Make sure that's what you recognize you need at that level, so that the next time you climb up to that place, you are able to use that same tool and get refreshed. I hope that this video was helpful. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that little bell so that every Friday when I post a video, it shows up in your feed. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I'm a mom, I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor, and a certified perinatal mental health specialist. We are in motherhood together. Thank you so much, and today, take care of yourself.